Now, can I say for the first time in a long time, I actually enjoyed the Real Housewives of Atlanta. And it was actually due to Candy and her family. Hey. And I'm like, come on through, Cookie. I want to put my soapbox. That's basically it. Let's talk about drag and all its forms. What, Hey guys, thanks so much for clicking on the video. This is season 9, episode 19, Real Housewives of Atlanta. Like I said, for the first time in a long time, I actually really enjoyed the show. And it was all because of Candy and the old lady gang. I enjoyed them. They actually did a soft opening for the old lady gang. And it was nice. It was nice. It was like the first time in a long time when you seen them film something and you say, damn, I would have liked to been there. That looked like good fun. Of course, it spun off into some other shit. But all in all, it looked like fun. Like they had a good time. Candy sang and the aunts were there. We're going to talk about it. But it was a good time. I sat here and I actually enjoyed watching them. And I have not done that for quite a while. You know, it's usually some shit going on. And that's the thing. It doesn't always have to be, for reality TV, it doesn't always have to be a ball of shit for it to be entertaining. Sometimes we are entertained by just what you're doing, especially when you are aspiring to something and you do something that interests us as far as like business and stuff like that. It don't always have to be messy, but okay, anyway, moving on. So the old lady gang, it was so funny. They were talking about them. I'm talking to them. We're talking about them coming together and all of that. And they were talking about putting up pictures and stuff and how they have to really watch about how they place the pictures because, you know, they didn't want to say it out loud, but Mama Joyce is petty to the motherfucker. And if her picture, you know, sits back, because the way the wall was, I think the wall was kind of concave, and a part of it is out further than the other. And Candy was worried about how the pictures, which is ridiculous, that somebody would feel like there's some favoritism being made. That ain't nobody but her mammy that she talking about. But anyway. And when Todd broke it up and said, Aunt Bertha is the lead singer anyway. Okay? Let it be done. And we all know that. We all know that Joyce can say what she wants when it comes to running the family, running the kitchen, everything that has to do with that Burris family. Aunt Bertha is, I think she's the oldest. And she may not be the eldest, but the thing is, she plays matriarch, okay? So Aunt Bertha is the lead singer. She is Beyonce. She is Diana Ross. When Bertha talks, everybody listen. And this is what we've learned. She ain't even our aunt, but we know the rules. When Aunt Bertha speaks, motherfuckers listen. It ain't even got to make sense what Aunt Bertha said. Remember when Aunt Bertha said, see, maybe it was that Todd brought the shit over there and then brought it back and then swung it over that way and then brought down the bullshit and then walked off. Y'all remember when Aunt Bertha did it? That shit ain't make no motherfucking sense. That shit still don't make no sense. But we listened and we laughed and said, okay, Aunt Bertha, because Aunt Bertha is that girl, okay? So sit down, Joyce. Ain't nobody worry about you. So I just kind of laughed. I said, Lord have mercy. But anyway, let's talk about Kenya. Kenya drove her rotten ass over to Sheree's. Sheree, you know, uninvited. She just come on down. She just trouble. Come on down. Sheree was down there with, she's having trees put in and some other little things. It's like literally within weeks that she's going to be in the Chateau. And she invited Kenya to her housewarming party at that time. And they basically both kicked it back and forth. The trouble that she was having with Bob and the trouble that she was having with Matt. So, they could kind of see level. And they really are at a good place. They were, Sheree and Kenya are where Phaedra and Kenya were supposed to be. That's the best way to explain it. So that was that. Then we see Todd and Peter. Peter's coming in town. Todd pick him up. And then Apollo calls on the phone. They can talk to Apollo. And boom, here goes the shit. Apollo gets to talk about, yeah, my lady is actually going to come. He says she's going to come to the opening. Since I can't beat her, she's going to come there and represent me. And they kind of blew it off like, yeah, okay, whatever. And then he tossed him, well, what does she look like? And he told him, oh, she's cute. Sometimes you got to upgrade. I said, did he just fucking call Phaedra ugly? On the slide, you little motherfucker. It's terrible how people really say their real feelings about you once shit goes awry. And honest to goodness, when we actually did see this girl, her name is Sheree, she don't look a motherfucking thing like Phaedra. So yes, take that comment for what it was. He ain't never thought Phaedra was cute. Because this girl is high yellow with blonde hair and long hair and all. Everything that Phaedra's not. She's a complete different type of woman. She's one of those. Phaedra was a come up. I said, classic light-skinned man shit. I said, whatever. Anyway, I always kind of felt like she was buying that dick anyway. But anyhow, moving on. Next we see Phaedra and her parents. Her parents are visiting, and she got the boys, and they went to like an ice cream, like a Baskin Robbins type of ice cream shop thing. Child, Phaedra's kids, they was just as wild. More so the baby. But Aiden gets sucked in, and you know how boys do. They was cutting the fuck up. I said, my God. They're just spoiled brats. They were just as wild. And I was laughing, and you can see her mom was kind of like, okay, I think the mom is a little bit used to them and the fact that they're spoiled. And I think because of their whole situation with their dad being gone, they give them a little extra. You know how mothers and grandmothers do. Well, Grandpa wasn't feeling that shit. Grandpa sat right up there. I looked at that man's face, and I could read that man's face. Because, see, I got two of them, too. Two boys, and mine is 3.5 years apart. And kind of just like Phaedra's. I know that look, and I know that angst in his face. He told her just as nice. He said, you know what, I would like to at least take them for at least 1 to 2 weeks, during the summertime when they're on break, and take them down to the house, And I said, and what? What? He gonna beat the shit out of your motherfucking kids. He gonna get their ass, and he's a pastor too. He's gonna get their ass in order. I suggest you pack their clothes a week before school get out and send their motherfucking asses, send their 2 yellow asses right on down into your daddy. He's gonna beat the shit out of them and get their asses together. Happy summer, Aiden and little Mr. President or whatever that Lord the little one's name is. They gonna get the shit beat out of them during church. I got so tickled. I said, look at his face. He gonna fuck them kids up. They need it. Anyway, cutting the fuck up. All that talking and running. He's gonna beat the shit out of them. And they're gonna be straight when they come back home. They're gonna be just as well behaved, just angels when they get back. Tore the fuck up. Anyway, speaking of kids, Noelle and Cynthia were talking. They talked about the fashion show and how well it did. She was bringing Noelle up to speed on the divorce, and that the divorce is finalized. And she did it as a parent. They didn't go all deep. She just told her what she needed to know, and that was cool. And I was looking at Noelle. Noelle's rocking some hair, instead of her little plaits and stuff. She looked cute. And I'm saying, my God, she is, with the hair on, she's looking like Cynthia. She started to look like her mother. I was like, okay, cool. Yeah, that works. Um, Peter, we see Peter later on. Peter drove past the old house, the old red brick house that they lived in, and he was having a little moment. He was getting a little emotional. I was like, Peter, you giving me a whole lot this episode, baby. You all and your feelings. You need to pull it together. Pull it together, Papa Smurf. Your movie's coming out soon. Don't worry about it. Moving on. We got Candy and Todd. The nerves are starting to get to Candy, and she's starting to be a little bitchy. But that's how Candy does. As these seasons have gone by, when it gets close to performance dates and opening dates and things of that nature, Candy's nerves get her, and it makes her a little bitchy. That's just part of her personality. She don't mean no harm. It just is what it is. She wants the best for whatever it is that she's doing. And Todd is the opposite. Todd's cool as a cucumber. He's like, I don't need help. I'm cool doing my stuff. Candy's like, they're doing this. It's the two different ways of doing business, but it all worked out. Everything worked out and everything was fine. But again, neither one is going to break and say that the way I do it ain't better. Because, that's who they are. They're competitive to the point where they even compete with each other silently. That's just the way they do. And it probably is what kind of makes their little thing work. Because it don't seem to be bothering them. I think it was bothering other people who watch the show more than it was bothering them. Because people who are doing reviews and stuff and watching the show are so concerned about Todd spending Candy's money. And I ain't heard Candy say a goddamn thing about what Todd's spending. Anyway, moving on. I ain't pressed. Spend it all up. Shit. She can afford it. She don't mind him having whatever it is he gets. Who cares? Do what you do over your house. Anyway, moving on. So then we actually see Sheree packing the boxes and stuff and actually getting moved. Getting ready to start, moving her stuff to the chateau. And it was strange to actually see Cairo showing a little bit of his actual personality. He was playing back and forth with Sheree. And, you could see the mother-son thing. Mothers and sons have that thing just like daughters and fathers have that thing. And we got to see some of Cairo's personality. He was giving me less short bus tease. Very good. Very good, Cairo. You need to show more of that. Stop with the airhead shit, okay? Stop it now. Anyway, moving on. Phaedra and Porsha, these two lonely, vindictive, lying-ass whores, ended up. Phaedra was actually invited to the old lady gang rollout. Porsha, not so much. So it was Phaedra's birthday. They both decided to stay. They had a slumber party. And they both had these little freaking frack jumpers, and I'm sure they had a great time, honey. Lickety split. Anyway, they were playing dress up and carrying on, and I will give Phaedra this when, because she was showing, and that Porsha was showing some of her units. Real smart. That was nice product placement, Porsha. But Porsha put this blonde bob on Phaedra. Now that bitch was wearing that blonde bob. You need to buy 4 of them and keep them on hand. The black one was nice too, but the blonde one, bitch, you need to buy 4 of them and put that on your head and pet it down and get it moving, girl. She really did look good in that hair and that color and that cut. It was dynamite on Phaedra. I was like, all right, girl. I was liking that. Yeah, sure enough. And then when she squoze into Porsha's dress, I was like, girl, that dress is pulled out to the back, Sadie. Cute dress. But yeah, 2 sizes up and you good. So, okay, let's go over to the party. So like I said, the party was fantastic. Candy sang a little bit. She sang Fly Above and a little piece of it a cappella. And they were just, kicking it and laughing. And they showed the place around and everything. And this was the funny thing. That got them joy. So the aunts, they all had agreed they were going to wear white blouses and black pants. Well, Joyce showed up late, like completely late, like 2 hours late. She got there. Honey, Joyce tried it. Joyce had on a taupe blouse and this black skirt and these heels. I said, you just had to pull a Diane Carroll, didn't you, girl? She showed up, honey, and gave it to them, too. They was looking at her. They said, really, Joyce? Really? You know we was supposed to. Didn't you get the memo, Joyce? And she was giving, honey, she was looking at them like, what? And she really did. She gave them very much of, honey, I don't know whatever this is that you're calling this, but I've had a good time. Ciao for now. I said, all right, Joyce. Joyce was giving you too much, honey. I said, look at her trying to be Beyonce, honey. She's a mess. And they just paid her no mind because it's just what she does. But everybody else was having a fabulous time. They was having their drinks. You know, I love that Aunt Nora. I like Aunt Nora. Aunt Nora was running around there partying and carrying on, having a good old time. Everybody was all grins. And literally, like I said, it was fun to watch. And it was one of those things where you said, damn, I would have liked to have been there. You know what I mean? They were having such a good time. And the atmosphere was just good. You know what I mean? And then mentioning that, I will say that, you know, I don't usually jump into real time. But real time, the restaurant seems to be doing very well. I've seen stuff over the internet this past week. People were waiting between 2 and 3 hours to get into the restaurant to eat. Candy, bitch, you better make the money, bitch. I'm here for it. Anybody that sit 2 to 3 hours to go somewhere to eat, that's a whole lot of food you selling, right? Girl, I ain't mad with you. People had so many doubts about it. I hope it continues just like it is. I hope it is a smash success. Just at the fact that people thought that it could be done. And people were so down about what was going on. And then Peter made perfect sense when Peter said, I think you got this tied down, Todd, when he said, there's a brand new stadium or whatever it is right around the corner. So I think I think this is going to be good. I think this is going to be good. I hope it works out for him. Okay, so anyway, Peter ends up being in there. And like I said, everybody was having such a good time. Peter was moping around and shit. And then he was real cold to Cynthia. And Cynthia kind of clocked it, you know what I mean? Because she was in one of her moods. You know, that was her first night out. And she was feeling a little sexy and things. And she looked good. And I was laughing, and I said she knew Peter was in town. She probably was thinking she was going to jump up and down on Peter's nightstick, honey. And Peter was giving you very bitch, honey. And he was all in his feelings. He was being kind of cold to her. And then he was moping around. And Todd was like, if you don't get a drink and cut the bullshit out, you done flew all the way down here, get a drink and cut it the fuck out. Then later on, right after that, Sheree shows up, which is Apollo's fiance. And she is a little extra and a little annoying. And she's one of those people who I think she's heard so much about, the girls and Todd, and that she came in with this like she already knows them and she's all familiar with them, and and it was giving her, girl, I don't want to be your friend, bitch. And Candy was worried. Like she said, I don't want to look like I'm being messy. But I didn't get that. Like, why would you look like you're being messy? You and Phaedra are not friends. So it just is what it is. Don't even worry about it. Don't even worry about it. This is all Apollo shit. That's the woman he want to be with. And like I said, you all saying Sheree. Sheree don't look a motherfucking thing like Phaedra. He done wrote Phaedra's ass off. It is what it is. Phaedra going to do what you're going to do because Apollo's doing what he's going to do. And he ended up calling in, and they talked to him, and he said, the divorce is not final. We're working on it right now. It's going through now. So again, another one of her lies. The two of them go back and forth so much you don't even know who to believe. But guess what? I don't even fucking care. I'm about sick of them. I'm about sick of their storyline and all of it. I didn't like them old high-waisted jeans Sheree had on there. I was like, girl, what's them mom jeans, girl? Anyway, moving on. That was basically it. Good show. I enjoyed it for a change. I really did. I mean, not that I don't usually enjoy it, but I enjoyed it the way that I used to enjoy it when I first started watching. I've been around since the beginning, since show number 1. And I enjoyed it the way that I used to enjoy it back in season 1. All right, so I'll talk to you guys next week. Later.